CPC versus GX4000.
15 of the 26 titles released for the Amstrad GX4000 were ports of existing tape and disc CPC games. It is commonly said that these ports are identical to the CPC versions and therefore not worth the higher price tag, and majorly contributed to the ultimate failure of the infamous British system. This series makes direct side-by-side comparisons as I discuss the differences of both versions and choose which one is better. Part 3 sees us look at some of the fighting games for the system: No Exit, Panza Kickboxing and Wild Streets. Okay, No Exit. A contender for one of the worst games on the GX4000. One of the worst games ever, possibly. I don't think it's that bad, actually. I don't think it's good, but I don't think it's that bad. Cover art, identical, just the same image, put into the GX4000 box art. And there we go. Well, differences are a lot in this game. There's a lot of differences. It's only available on the 128K version of the CPC. Different title screen completely. Different colour scheme completely. There's blues and blacks going on there. A very solid No Exit title. On the GX4000 we've got this image of a three-armed, six-armed creature with a demo effect going on. Raster effects, scrolling, all these. I mean, it's almost like it's demonstrating, oh, this is what I can do, and look at all these flashy things and moving objects and effects and rasters and loads of things going on. Menus differently designed again, using some plus palette features, gradient features, smoothing features, all the features being used in the GX4000 here to improve it over the CPC version. The screen size is also larger, I believe. Just to sort that out there. Colour palette is completely changed. When we get into the game, I'll show you. There's lots of change. There's lots to talk about being No Exit. Surprisingly enough, I didn't realise they were this different. And when you look at them back to back, they are. Lovely little rolling scroll down there on the CPC, but not present on the GX because it fades in using the plus palette. And as you can see there, yeah, it's vastly improved. We're not going to talk about the gameplay because the gameplay of this game is pretty hollow and pretty weird. But this is not a review, this is a comparison. And if you're comparing the two back to back, as you can see, the GX4000 is utterly lovely compared. Darker themes, tints, the purples, the shading, a lot more mood. The sprites are certainly, they are smoothed out more. Look, I don't think they've been redrawn, I just think they've been smoothed out. The animation is the same. They're still not hardware sprites. They're still soft sprites. Energy bars are changed because the energy bars are actually hardware sprites, believe it or not. And you see that bat flying across there? That's a hardware sprite as well. The life icons at the top are hardware sprites, so it's using hardware sprites. Good stuff. Good stuff, Tomahawk. That's the best you could do, though. The gameplay, you need to work on the gameplay. There's a good shot there between the two, the horror tree. Very moody and almost 16 bits on the GX4000 there, and a very nicely balanced colour, I think that is. On the, as you can see on the CPC, it's so garish and bright. It doesn't really match the image, the theme of the image, does it? It's nicely done, but it's nowhere near as good as the GX4000 version there. Graphically, it's very, very superior. And as we continue on, you can see this third level. No loading, of course, on the GX instant with the fading. Lots of stuff have been changed here. The game speed is the same. The gameplay is the same, unfortunately. I would say, I'd hazard a judgment that the gameplay is a little bit more glitchy on the GX4000. I am not sure why. Maybe because they just use hardware sprites to decorate things, but it's certainly a little bit more glitchy. Responsiveness is exactly the same as the CPC version. Oh, see that statue on the CPC there? Don't like that colour. Oh, that colour scheme there is a bit too nasty on the eyes. But there's a lot of differences here. GX4000 has been used. There's hardware sprites. There's fading. There's plus palettes. There's raster effects. There's demo effects. A lot have been used. It's a shame the gameplay made it a crap game. But anyway. It's certainly different and definitely been improved. No Exit there. So now we go on to another game that is significantly improved over the CPC version, Futura's Panza Kickboxing, sometimes known as the best of the best Kickboxing Gold, and other various titles of that kind of word configuration. But anyway, as you can see, the old box art is the same, and again, oh yes, beautiful title screen there on the GX, vastly improved over the CPC. Only one though, as you can see the CPC version there, scrolling over, going through different title screens, because it's got 3 of them. It's got 3 title screens, the CPC version, which is a shame that the GX4000 hasn't got that. But it's got a lovely title screen in there, very 16-bit. And this menu is also slightly different. It's reversed, weirdly, so your player's on the other side, and it's also drawn in a different mode, as you probably noticed there. It's drawn in mode 0, and the CPC version is in mode 1 to make it very detailed, but coloured very nicely. So there's another massive difference. Now, I'm getting ahead of the game. The game's sort of getting ahead of me now. Into the game, and game screen, well, the game size screen on the GX is huge, massive compared to the CPC, very restricted, a tiny game screen on the CPC version there. And very reminiscent of, if you look at the Amiga screenshots of this game, you will notice that the GX4000 is extremely similar to it, and I'm not joking, it really is. The colours are so deep, they're well put, well placed, they're so more photorealistic than they are on the CPC version. Again, very bright, very garish on the CPC version. It works well. Game screen is so small compared. You've got the energy bars, the traditional energy bars with the lights fading out on the GX4000 version are really good. It's cleverly done. It's a lovely little touch. Missing on the CPC. CPC is very basic. Got a very basic HUD and energy bar and stats, but everything's really smooth and slick on the GX4000 with the counter in the middle. The sprites again have been improved. There's a slight, ever so slight smoothing effect on them. The whole game just looks so slick compared to the CPC version. Animation is there again. It's just a shame that them additional title screens are missing on the GX4000 version. Again, I'm not sure why. There's a possible raster interrupt being used on the GX as well. I'm not sure. Possibly there on the title screen. As you can see now, again, the differences between the two. The colours on the GX are really nice. And the menu in the middle, of course, again, reordered. Animation slightly smoother as well. The music and the sound effects are generally the same. There's not much of a change in that. No DMA is used, which is again a pity. I mean, very few GX4000 games use the DMA. But the recolorization, the size, the smoothing, the gameplay, generally the same. I think it plays better on the GX4000 because it looks so good. It looks really good. It's definitely a 16-bit looking game, and I'm not joking. It really, go look at the ST and Amiga version. Seriously, the game screen is larger. Another example of something that has been improved and using the GX4000's capabilities. Not the greatest game in the world, but it's a bit of fun. It's a nice little beat 'em up. And on the GX4000, as you can see, I don't even have to say any words. You can see just by looking at these screens that it's just excellent compared to the CPC version. The CPC version is not bad. I'm not going to disrespect it. But GX4000 definitely wins on this one. Trumps up. Well done. Well done, Futura. So here we come to Wild Streets, a very basic and rather dull scrolling beat-em-up, or flick screen beat-em-up in this case. Box art, again, just transitioned into the GX4000 design, with the Titus logo just plonked at the bottom there for good measure. Title screen, very similar. Slight bit of smoothing, a little bit more, lots of gradient effects there going on, plus palette certainly used on the title screen of the GX4000. Again, the fading is being used again, so that's again a plus palette thing. And also the sprites on the GX4000 version are all hardware sprites, so all the bad guys and your man and the Panther are all hardware sprites, which makes the game faster. It certainly does improve the speed. It also manages to create some very nasty flickering effects which don't occur on the CPC version. On the HUD at the bottom, I like the redesign of it on the GX4000. Met that metal effect. very smooth looking. Again, no, this is a game that could have done with hardware scrolling. No, why? Why are we still using the flick screen? We don't need to do the flick screen, even though it does have the fading. But the problem with this game, compared to the CPC version, we're playing the CPC music at the moment. It's a very nice little theme for the game. And I'm going to switch to the GX4000 sound in a minute, and you're going to hear something which is horrible and surprising, and I don't know why this happens, because on the CPC it seems to work well. The sound effects do not clash with the music, but on the GX they do, and they clash a lot, and they significantly damage the soundtrack. Well, they break the soundtrack, to be honest. Yeah, right, well, you'll see. You'll hear, should I say. So, nice music on the CPC. We'll talk about the graphics in a minute. They are slightly improved. Colour palettes wise, they're not really smoothed out much, but you know, colour palette wise. But here we go with the music. Listen to it. Let's just keep your ears open. Just keep your ears open. Yeah. Now, what's going on there? That is all horrible. It's slow. It's going slow. It's a lot slower than it's on the CPC. And all the sound effects are clashing with the music, and it's ear bleeding. I don't know why that has happened. What has gone on with the programming there? Have the introduction of the hardware sprites interfered with the sound? It's not nice to listen to, especially when you listen to how nice the CPC version plays. The music, at least. The CPC version will win this on that basis. You cannot have that awful sound going on. It's a mess of a sound going on the GX4000, and I don't know why. It's again one of those ever-long frustrations. What the hell is going on? A game, I mean, I'm not going to talk about the fact that you can jump through this entire game and complete it very quickly. That's different. Graphically, you know, it's improved. It is improved. Oh, there we go. I'm going to switch back to the CPC, so a little bit more better there. Nice music, actually, when it's not ruined. No split screen used here. There's a possible loss interrupt used on the HUD at the bottom, because it's very nice looking. Lots of good effects there. Generally, the game backgrounds are identical, just a slight recolorization. And to be honest, I think the sprites on the CPC are better anyway. So the CPC wins this one. It's a poor game, and despite changes attempted to be made, the sound just breaks it. And also missing on the GX4000 version is the end of level still image, which is a nice image on the CPC. Why is it missing on the GX? No idea.